Greetings, YouTube. Bearded Ryan here, and I have got a coffee review for you. What may you ask? Is it another cafecito? Or am I doing the little coffees? Am I doing the big coffees? Am I tackling something perhaps as well known in the household as it is in the store, right? We have these parallels with store coffee, restaurant coffee now. And so, what I've got is just show you. What do you think it is? Do you think maybe I was doing the best part of waking up is something, something? Well, it's not that one, all right? Not this time. But I got right here, we got Dunkin' Donuts, okay? I know a lot of you love the Dunkin', the DD perks, maybe you remember, I don't know. But we got the Dunkin' Dark Roast, which is my favorite Dunkin' blend. By far, bar none. This is my ideal coffee when I would, you know, definitely have the funds, definitely have the means, definitely want something to crave. You want that donut shop, you want that coffee shop authentic flavor, and certainly you get that with the dark roast. Now, the Dunkin' dark roast has been added in recent years. They didn't always have the dark roast. They didn't always have the bolder, more intense robusto coffee flavor, but they do now, and that's where we're at. So, right here, as you can see, I have to get into this right away. Again, I spoke of why it's ideal. This is, of course, the Rainforest Alliance certified seal. This certifies that 30% of their coffee is from sustainable farms. It is not what we've seen in the recent past of God bless and hashtag save the rainforest, those horrible forest fires that are set. I mean, pardon me if I'm getting a little political here, but it's something that I'm passionate about. The rainforest is vital. There are so many species of plants and animals, indigenous flora and fauna that we must save. As you know, I think another parallel here, I believe one third or around 20 to 30% of the world's oxygen is produced from the rainforest. And it's so important that these coffee farmers, I mean, I love coffee. I know you do, you probably while you're watching this. So if you're passionate about it, you're going to want to look for this seal. You're going to want to see organic. You're going to want to see fair trade. Now, I'll get into those another time. But for now, you want to see it's the little tree frog. You look for the tree frog on the coffee, and you know you are fighting the good fight, that your coffee is not causing deforestation on a massive scale. All right? God bless. So, what we have here, I have this is a Hershey's mug. I don't know if you can see it all. Spell out the word Hershey's. It's a nice, regular size coffee mug. And enough chit chat, but let's get into the smell test, and then we'll go for the sip test. You can smell that boldness right away. I know you walk into a coffee shop, you smell that aroma, that unmistakable smell, and a subtle sweetness, and it's just so pleasing to the nostrils. And I can't wait. I gotta go for the sip test. Oh my gosh, a perfect cup. I think I might have to change my score. I think I might. I don't know. I mean, get right into this. This was a well-made pot. Now, before I go into the rating system, I was gonna give this a lower score, and the reason was I made a few days ago, and it was weak. I didn't add enough. with these coarser grinds, you need to add more coffee to your maker because the finer the grind, as you've heard in my Cafecito Espresso reviews, those are much more fine. You get more coffee in your scoops with that, and it's an espresso, so it's much stronger. You get more boldness, and with the dark roast, it's that coarser grind. So you add more to compensate. The pot that I had by week, I'm meaning it didn't have that full on flavor. You could taste a little bit of the water, and it was a little too salty. And I'll get into the flavor notes in a minute. Second. So the flavor notes you're going to expect from this dark roast is, of course, a caramel, and it's very smooth, sweet, a little bit smoky, and salt. So you might wanna say it's more like a sea salt caramel, that decadence. But when I made that weak pot versus this strong pot, it was a little too salty. The acidity was off, and you need that bold bitterness with, especially with a dark roast. And that bitterness comes in a little bit of an anise flavor, a star anise, or you might also say black licorice. That traditional, almost molasses like sweet and bitterness, that combination. I've almost finished my cup here. I better wrap this up. But it is very, very good. And, you can't beat the little tree frog. Love on the tree frog, right? So, with the beard rating scale, we go 1 to 5 and we do halves. I was going to give this a 4 because, as you know, in my last review, my favorite Cafe La Rica, because it's a staple and it's no fuss, no muss, it got a 5. It got a full 5 on 5 beard score. Now, I was gonna give this a 4 again, like I said, but it's gonna score right in that meaty middle. This is going to get a 4.5 beards out of 5. It's almost perfect. And if you love dark roast, donut shop, if you love on the tree frog again, you're gonna want to pick up a bag of Dunkin. Certainly the dark roast is a strong, bold blend. And my go-to when I'm looking for iced coffee, I would easily go to Dunkin' over any other coffee shop for an iced coffee. And I mean, you can leave me a comment about that. I think that's definitely comment worthy. Where do you like to go for iced coffee? This is hot coffee. Um, excuse me. It's very good. Very, very good. And I can't stress that enough. Um, it is a great cup of hot coffee, and you ought to try it when you go to Dunkin' because this does not disappoint. You make a strong pot, you're going to get the same flavor as you would in the coffee shop at home. You can't beat that convenience. And they really don't overprice the stuff. It's a fair deal for what you get, and the tree frog. Again, I mean, you got to pick up a bag of this. You just do. I mean, if I were to pick it up all the time and it was a little bit more fine of a grind, it would have got that perfect score. But 4.5 beards is a strong score, and you need to try it. So thanks again. Leave me a comment, like, subscribe. Bearded Ryan here. Look forward to many more great reviews such as this. And thanks for checking out the channel. Later, YouTube.